Good morning, everybody. This is Carolyn Hauser Carson with day 4 of 9 days of deep healing and energy shifting. Tomorrow is our 5th day, and then we're going to take the weekend off, and then there's going to be 4 more days next week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So far, we have shifted and worked on shifting the energy around heartbreak, mending our hearts, connection to soul, connection to spirit. And today we're moving into mending, transforming, healing, the connection to the divine feminine. Good morning, Joya. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me know how you are today, and tag a couple friends that you think might be specifically benefiting from today's theme. For those of you that are new to me and my circle, I'm the creatrix of the Pleasure IQ. The Pleasure IQ is my proprietary signature system that helps, or is designed to help my clients to get into a paradigm of paradise. Paradigm of paradise is a state of being where everything flows, where money flows, where your relationship are in harmony so that love can flow, where your health is in a great state, so energy and strength flow, and you are generally feeling good and knowing and living your purpose. It's a state where you are living the fulfillment of your divine potential. I'm also one of the leading experts in family constellations globally, and my specific unique gift is shifting energy. I shift energy for people, and I teach people how to shift their energy. I teach you how to shift your energy. Because what I've learned in my own journey is that what it comes down to is that we don't have power over other people. We don't have power over circumstances. Good morning, Karina. But we do have power over our own energetic state, and everything that we want is already here. It's here in a parallel universe that we are currently not inhabiting because we're not quite up to speed. And so everything that we have been doing and are going to be doing over these 9 days is designed to help you leap into either the universe that is already your paradise or one that's closer. Good morning, Quincy from France. The international crowd is gathering again this morning. Awesome. For you, it's enough to, well, for you, it's already in the evening, right? Almost late afternoon. So let me see. So things that my clients do is they triple their income while cutting completely down on their hours. They start making money in a very different way. When they come to me and have very complex businesses and situations and offers, good morning, Laura, we sort it out so that it becomes much easier, more aligned, and much more simplified so that they can have way more pleasure in all areas of their life. So some of my clients have left businesses and moved countries. One of them is living right as my neighbor here in Mexico on the beach. Other clients have completely transformed their relationships because their relationships were suffering from them being so in the masculine mode and not knowing how to make money in a feminine and more ease and grace-filled way. So those are just some of the results that people are getting. The results are quantum leaps because the results that you're experiencing right now are connected to the universe that you're in. And so once you quantum leap in the next universe, everything is better. Your relationships are better. You're a better person. You're better in terms of how you're feeling. Your attitude is more positive. And therefore you have more energy, and therefore, because when you have more energy, you're obviously also of more use to yourself and a lot of other people. So everything gets better. Oftentimes people ask me, so your retreats is about business, is about relationship, it's about money, like what is it about? It's about you getting from the place where you're at and where you're feeling like it's not completely where you want to be to the place where everything feels right and flows, right? So it's not compartmentalized. Your life is one entity, and yes, and some, for some of you, there's areas that are really amazing already, and there's not. And so if that's you, For you, the universe is a universe where everything is great, right? And for others, if you're watching, there might be a lot more struggle in a lot more areas. So it's the same for you. Once you shift out of that universe, again, it's about shifting into the universe where your entire life experience, everything in your life flows because you have become a different person and you're resonating at a different level. So I hope this makes sense. If this is making sense, let me know. Give me a yes or a thumbs up or something. And so how is the feminine connected? From my background in family constellations, the way we look at a feminine and masculine dynamic is that the feminine is connected to our ability to receive, period. Thanks, Laura, for saying yes. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks, Joya. Thanks, Queensy. It's directly connected to our ability to take in, right? The first love that when we come out of the womb, the first movement actually is what we call, good morning, Deborah, it's what we call a reaching out movement. Mother, I need you. And for most of us, that got interrupted. You know, some of our mothers had other siblings to take care of. Some of our mothers were emotionally not available. If you've been a mother yourself, you know how much a baby needs, right? So it's very natural that one human being will not most likely be able at all given moments in time to fulfill those needs. And so for most of us, we made decisions that were not quite based on correct perceptions, right? We reached out, our need didn't get met. And so some of us took on the belief that we're not important. Some of us took on the belief that we're not worthy. Some of us took on the belief that we're not loved. Some of us took on the belief that we're just all alone, and some of us, you know, might have all of them. I know I have a flavor of several of these, and there's more, but just to give you some examples of how we decide things when, you know, in reality, mother might have been completely overwhelmed and tired and just not able to do more, right? And it didn't mean anything about us. It just meant that she was tired, overwhelmed, stretched too thin, had no support, didn't know how to take care of herself, all those things. Yeah, Joy, you're saying you have to do everything yourself. Yeah, that's a big one for me still. It's one of my big ones also, and one of the other big ones is that I don't matter. So when we look at healing the connection to the divine feminine, and tomorrow we're going to go into the masculine, so we're going to do both because both are important. It really is directly connected with receiving, because receiving starts with saying, I need you, I need something, asking for, wanting, right? Allowing ourselves to say, please, give me. And most of us stop ourselves before even doing that because we've been having experiences where things did not get fulfilled. And so this morning, I myself feel very uncomfortable, I have to say. I've been sitting with this. I've been very excited about this series in general, and I've had a lot of fun, and yesterday was a lot of fun. I did have fun dressing up today. But in full transparency, I want to talk a little bit about my relationship with my mother, because it's gone through many iterations, and I've been actually feeling for the past year, I've been feeling very connected to my mother, and felt like we had worked things out. And this year was my 40th birthday, and I had told everybody, including my mother, that I really wanted to have everybody here in Mexico, and I was going to do everything to make that happen and possible for everybody. And my mother chose to not be here, and I am still I'm upset. I am still upset. I'm upset, and there's many reasons why. Some of them might be valid, others are not valid, because, you know, we would have flown her here and everything. So as I am doing this live on the divine feminine and connection to mother, I am sitting with my own stuff around my mother at the moment. And from the family constellation perspective, our place as children is to be the little one, right? My tendency is to be understanding and to make it okay, and then there's the part of me who, I'm the little one and you're the big one, right? And so for each and every one of us, I think that's a at least for the human part of me and for the human part of us, it's an area of growth and continuous learning and releasing, right? There's guilt involved and feelings of, oh my God, I should just get over it, and she's my mother, and all these things. So for today, I'm just allowing myself to be the little one and to have my feelings around it. And we are going to get into the constellation very soon. I'm assuming that, since we are all one, that this is speaking to everybody, and that some of what I'm saying is something that you can relate to. And so we'll do a collective constellation on healing the connection to the divine feminine in a moment. And as every morning, you can do your own individual one with your own fields. If you haven't seen me do them, I use these colored fields. You can get washcloths or kitchen towels, papers, magazines. I'll just give you a moment to do so. And then I'm going to say a prayer, and then I already have an idea how this is going to go, but I'm going to say the prayer and then check in again and then tell you what to set up. So assuming that you have everything that you need, and if you're watching this as a recording, you can just push the pause button, get yourself what you need, make space so that you can actually step into the field and then come back to this. And if you're watching, all the replays are posted on the event page. The event page is on my profile, so it's easy to find. The schedule is also on the event page, so you can find everything in that place. And if you want to send people to this event, do it through the event page so that they can get all the info and everything that they need. So with that, I'm inviting you to close your eyes, taking a deep breath in, letting your belly soften and exhaling, letting go of anything and everything that came before our time together, this morning, yesterday, the day before, the weeks before, the months before. Your entire past, just letting it all go. And then inhaling again, letting your belly soften and exhaling. Letting go of any worry about the future, anything that's pulling you forward into the future. And then inhaling one more time, letting your belly soften and exhaling. Arriving in this present moment and allowing yourself to be present to everything that is. Just being okay with everything the way it is. You might be feeling calm, you might be feeling stirred up, you might be feeling uncomfortable, you might be feeling all kinds of feelings. It's just landing in your physical body with everything. And so in this space, I am setting the intention, I'm speaking a prayer for deep transformation and healing, for the mending and restoration of our connection to the divine feminine, however that might look like, whether it's to our mothers and grandmothers or in another way. We're just asking Spirit to reveal the way that we can connect to the divine feminine and be in our divine feminine, embody the divine feminine, live connected to the divine feminine, so that we all may receive all of our desires, know our desires, unapologetically ask for them, not be afraid to ask for them, and do the asking. May our throat be unlocked so that the words can come out. May our heart be fearless. And so with this prayer and intention, I am affirming our ability to do this work together today. And I'm grateful that we have everything, technology, time, all the resources we need. So that we can do this work together this morning. I also want to send a thank you to the people that are taking care of my children, the schools, so that I can do this work. And so I just let this intention and prayer be, knowing that it is carried out in joy and peace by simply saying, and so it is. Amen. So for today, we are going to pick one color for the Divine Feminine. And I'm going to pick this red, actually. And so it's going in, I was actually thinking we're going to constellate our feminine lineage, but it's going a different way. We're going to pick a color for the connection, sparkly gold, and then a color for the self, which I'm picking orange for. So pick 3 colors, one for self, one for the connection, and one for the Divine Feminine itself. And then find a space where you can put these on the floor so that you can step on them. And I will put them on my floor. Making a little space here. See if you can still see me. I'll pick the laptop up in just a second. So the connection is what's on the floor first, and it feels like it's in the middle. Let's see if you can see this. So just in a line on the floor. The self, the connection, and the Divine Feminine. And I can show it the laptop too, real quick. The self, yeah, the orange, the connection, and the Divine Feminine. Sorry. Okay. And so you can either just sit and receive this collective energy shift, or you can step into your own constellation, and I will facilitate both. We always start with the self, with the field for self. So you can let me know if you're just receiving or if you're doing your own, and then I can guide you. And so I'm going to step onto the self. What's interesting is that the connection is a little off. It's not quite lined up either with me or the Divine Feminine. And it feels like the connection is not looking at me. The connection is kind of looking toward the Divine Feminine, but by her right shoulder, kind of. And I'm standing here and I'm feeling a little, not isolated and not lost, but a little bit on the outside. I feel like I'm a little bit on the outside. I'm definitely not connected to the Divine Feminine. I am feeling some resentment toward the gold, the connection, but I do feel like it's closer and there's more of a possibility of me connecting with the gold. I'm just also sitting down. I feel like a general, kind of like what I've been feeling this morning already. A general kind of heaviness. So I'm just going to sit on the self field for a moment. Good morning, Leslie. So there's a sadness around not having more of a connection, and also sadness about the connection not being there. Not just for me, but in general, that the connection between the divine feminine and the earth, or the people, or us, the humans, that connection has been, yeah, it feels like it's been severed. Yeah, Joya, I can see your comment. You're feeling general heaviness too. So there's a lot of sadness and grief around um, this the severance, that the severance has happened. I am hoping I'm using the right term, right? The disconnection. It felt like it was cut and severed, like a limb severed off. Um, so this also feels old, it doesn't feel like just now. It really feels like many, many thousands of years of sadness around this. When I'm looking at the divine feminine, yeah, looking at the divine feminine makes you feel like you're going to cry. Yes. So I feel very sad on this place. And also at the same time though, when I'm looking on at the divine feminine actually looks very strong and very radiant. Now that I'm looking, actually. I mean, part of my sadness was for her, but when I'm looking at her, she actually doesn't look impacted too much. And it's almost like the connection is really not that important. The piece, the golden piece that I put in the middle right now is really, it's almost like the divine feminine doesn't need it. I'm going to just step onto the divine feminine and see. And you can just stay where you are or look at your pieces, see if they need to move around, move yourself around. So on the divine feminine, I feel very upright. I feel tall, but not towering. I just feel very straight and upright. And I do feel frustrated. It's funny because I feel like the gold is actually like a wall that I can't go through. So I do feel frustrated for not it's almost all I can do is be. Like I can't do any actions. Like I can't just move forward. I can't just break through this wall. I can't. All I can do is just be. That's the best I can express it. All I can do is just be. And I'm frustrated by this because it might be interpreted as passive, but I'm not passive. It's just all I can do is be. I am just being. That's all I can do. I don't know how others to explain it, how else to explain it. And so maybe I'm frustrated that this being is not enough to connect or get through or be more connected, be with the self. And the gold, the connection is not helping. It's kind of it's almost like a barrier. So I'm going to step onto the golden. And at first the gold was looking toward the divine feminine, and now it's not. Now it's looking towards the self. Good morning, Alice. How are you? And so if you're doing your own constellation, just check in and see if you need to move the pieces, if you need to step somewhere else, what's shifting for you. Other pieces might come in, your own mother, grandmother, generations might come in. Yes, Joya. So being is one of the feminine characteristics, that doing is the masculine. So on the gold, I do feel like generational pain between women, multi-generational pain between women. So that is definitely in the way that, so the funny thing is, it is the multi-generations are the connection, and the multi-general pain that's connected to it is also in the way at the moment, from us being able to connect. So I just sat down on the golden, and as the gold, I feel very isolated. I don't actually feel like I'm connecting to anything. I'm just sitting like a blob in the middle here. So it's the mothers, the grandmothers, the aunts, the great grandmothers, great 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 grandmothers, all the women that have been wounded by each other and by the masculine, and through things that happened. So I actually, good morning, Vicky. How are you? I'm gonna bring in another field for the generations of women that were not wounded, because they do exist. Karina saying the connection is giving her massive stomach pain. So just see how much you can take, and you can always step off and on again. The way I transmute energy is by actually allowing myself to feel those things, but that doesn't mean that that's the way you do it, right? And you always judge how much you want to experience or not. And you can also take an extra piece for the stomach pain and put it next to you and have that separated out. I'm actually getting another orange for the women, the generations of women that were not wounded, and I'm putting it next to the gold. And actually they want to sit across. So let's see if I can show you this. The gold and the orange are facing each other. Oops. Sorry, I've been picking up my phone and it went blank for a moment. So I'm sitting on the generations that knew how to heal themselves, or didn't get wounded, or just had a stronger connection. And they're holding the other's hands and they're saying, it's okay. It's okay. You went through a lot. It's almost like I want to say, you went through a lot and you forgot that you could always go home to mother. And I'm pointing at the divine feminine. Like, I am a person who never forgot that I can connect to mother, whether it's through Mother Mary or the earth, or if I was a native, through Mother Earth, or through other mother deities and figures in my culture. Indian culture has different motherly types than, Catholic Church, but I was somebody who, I never disconnected. I would always come home to mother. And so it feels like my sisters, mothers, and these other women, they didn't have the same knowledge. They weren't raised in the same way. They didn't have the same reassurance and experience. So I want to just tell them that mother is always there, and mother has never stopped loving you. So it's part of the beingness of the mother, is that she's always there. And she's just there. She's just being there. That's all she's doing, is being there. Hey Dawn, good to see you. So I'm stepping over and sitting on the wounded generational women. And if you're doing your own constellation, just feel into what's right for you and where you have to shift to. If there's other pieces that want to come in, personal, maybe your grandmother or, other personal women in your lineage. So that felt good because I also felt very disconnected from my sisters. I think I felt very isolated in general. So for me, the first step that had to happen was this healing with my peers or the women in my life around me, and human women, basically. And that felt really good. And so part of me, I think, has felt unworthy of love. So it was very good for me to hear that I am always loved and that mother's always there and that I can always go back to mother and that she's just being there. I'm not quite ready to make that step, but what I'm ready to do is to say to the healthy ancestors, will you hold me? So I'm allowing myself to be held by my sisters, mothers, grandmothers. And so I feel through that I am connecting now to the divine because they're connected. So the constellation is actually moving to divine feminine. I'm going to get my leg out of the way. The divine feminine, the healthy ancestors, the group of the ancestors that were wounded, that now feel connected to mother through the ancestors that never disconnected. And so I'm going to step over now to the self and see how that feels for the self. And so what's interesting is that I am the same color as the ancestors, the feminine ancestors that never disconnected. They're orange too, so I like that. I also liked that I didn't have to be the one healing the ancestors. Oh my god, that's such a relief. Like, it's such a relief that the other orange is doing that they came and hugged them and gave the energy to them. Oh, that feels so good. That feels like a big burden just came off of my shoulders. And so I'm very grateful to these ancestors right now. I'm very grateful to these ancestors, women that knew how to be connected and never disconnected from mother. Whatever mother they were connecting to, right? In different cultures. And so I'm going to just try to step in front of the wounded generation so that we're all like one big line. I'm feeling a little hesitant because I'm not so sure about their strength and them, but I can feel them. I can feel them holding me, and I feel definitely freer. So I'm just gonna say, I'm the little one, and you're the bigger ones. I'm the little one. I'm the newest one. I'm the youngest. I'm the youngling. It's funny. I'm the youngling. So to the other oranges, I'm gonna say you're the wise ones. To the wounded ones, I want to say you're the bridge, and I'm the youngling. And so I don't need to necessarily draw my strength or my wisdom from the gold, from the wounded ones. I can go further to the orange, and like they have the capacity to help the gold, the wounded generations, and they also are there to, I don't need as much help in healing. I just want their wisdom and the connection. And I'm still connecting through the golden though, because they feel more resourced now. They have the orange, and they feel more resourced, but I don't need to go to the golden for all my needs, and that feels good. Trying to explain this in an accurate way. So it is important to connect through the gold, like to have a physical connection. It's almost like, to hold hands or have like a real, like a literal physical connection, like the bond, the if we were a line that would, a line on which energy would flow, it's important for me to hold the hand of the people behind me, because otherwise the energy couldn't flow along the line would be interrupted. So it more has to do with like the physical and energetic lines. But in terms of my spirit and nurturing and wisdom and encouragement, that can come all, like it feels like I'm holding a line of connection to my right, to the golden, to the orange, and back to the divine feminine. And then there's this whole wave of energy coming from the orange, through the orange, directly to the divine feminine on my left. So this feels very like like a wave or a wind or a flow. And this feels very much like as if there was a rod or a line going that I'm holding onto. You can see my hand as the connection. So I'm connecting in two ways now. And they're both important, and they both feel good, and I feel much freer. So I'm going to step out of this. And if you're still stepping in your movement, just see if it wants to come to a closing. So interesting. So today, this one was a very deep constellation, and you'll probably feel a little more exhausted or not quite as upbeat maybe as the other few days, and that's okay, because constellations are like a domino, right? We're starting to tip over one domino, and it still takes a little time for the whole effect to ripple out. So throughout the day today, be gentle with yourself and just trust that this is big and deep work that you're doing. Tomorrow we're back with connection to the masculine, so we'll see. We never know how this goes and where it goes. It's been my pleasure being here with you. If you want more help, if you want to talk about me possibly mentoring you, or if you don't quite know how I could help you and you want to see if I can help you, just send me a private message and we can have a conversation. Thanks, Karina. You're saying wow. Good. Oh, you said, but I wouldn't have said it. Yep. Big shifts. So this is important work that we're doing. There's still 5 more days. Bring more people, invite more people, share the replays with them. They're there. They're just as powerful as the live ones. It's been my pleasure being here with you this morning. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. All my love to you, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.